Hello and welcome to another edition of Comics and Pop. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Rosen, along with Troy Cannon and Iron Idarraga. Today we are going to be talking about all things Doctor Strange. There are tons and tons of rumors flying around because we're doing, SpiderMan was just so successful with their multiverse, and they introduced the Sonyverse, Spider-Man. So now there is all these rumors that Doctor Strange is going to capitalize on that. We may see Deadpool, we may see Fantastic Four, we may see a ton of other heroes. Let's see what you guys are hearing, what you want to see. Let's start off with, so Carlos can take the mask off so he doesn't suffocate. Let's start with Carlos this week.
I thought you were gonna say start off with Troy. I was gonna be like, no. Oh my god, this thing sounds good. Look how cool this thing is. Still look, it lights up. What up? And then boom.
Yeah.
You see that? That's pretty awesome. So I figured, I've been rocking costumes the past couple of ones, so I gotta keep this going so that we can get some extra viewers and stuff.
There you go.
Cool. All right, let me take this off. Oh my god. Ooh, this thing is hot. Well, it's made for like 8-year-olds too, and I have an 85-year-old head, so my head is like, how like when you grow older and stuff, like certain parts of your body like grow, like your ears and your nose. For me, it's my head freaking growing and growing. I have a giant head. But what were we talking about? What are we doing today? Oh yeah, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. You know what? So a couple of things about this. I mean, obviously, I'm excited about it because it's the continuation of the MCU, and I like the fact that they're linking the shows that we've seen on Disney Plus. They're linking WandaVision, obviously, because Wanda's going to be on it, right? Scarlet Witch is going to be in it. They're linking the What If episodes because we're going to see the evil Doctor Strange that we were introduced to in the What If episodes, and there's also rumors that Loki and the girl Loki are going to be in it as well. So
there's rumors about everybody right now. First of all,
right? Exactly. No, but these are the ones that are kind of like almost pretty much confirmed. All the other rumors that we're hearing, none of it is confirmed. But we know that Wanda's in it. We know that evil Doctor Strange is in it. We know that America Chavez is going to be in it because we've already seen her in it, right? And we know that Wong is in it. We know that what's the other guy's name?
Mordred.
That he's in it, and it's pretty much known that Loki's going to be in it as well. To carry on with that whole timeline and and the multiverse stuff. So that we all know. Now, as far as all the other rumors that,
by the way, I think we're getting Mephisto in this one. I really do. I really think we are going to get Mephisto.
We're getting everybody from the rumors that we're hearing. We're getting everybody, and there's certain things that just real quick. So and I'll put in some other points. But there's some of the rumors that I heard are what Nicolas Cage is Ghost Rider, Tom Cruise is Iron Man, Emily Blunt is Black Widow, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, Patrick Stewart is Professor X, Chris Evans as not as Captain America, but actually the Human Torch from Fantastic Four. Jared Leto Morbius is supposed to be in it as well. So those are just some of the rumors, but some of them I'm okay with, but some of them I'm not. And I'll tell you guys which ones I'm okay with and which ones I'm not. But I guess I'll let Troy chime in and see what he thinks so far about what we've heard.
Bill Murray's going to be in it.
I heard that too.
And he's going to play a character that I am, honest to God, not familiar with. It's you know what it is? I feel like one of those guys, heaven forbid I become one of the fat guys, but I feel like one of those fat guys is sitting in his couch and he's watching football game on Sunday and he can scream out all of the stats and everybody in the room is like, are you sure? And it's like, yeah, it was 1926. And he knows everything. I feel like that sometimes with comic books, which is completely and utterly useless in most situations, but here in this situation, they say a name and I'm like, oh, yeah, right. Da-da-da-da. I know info. They said a character that Bill Murray's playing and I have no idea who they're talking about. I've been trying all day not to Google it because I'm like, you know what? It's in here somewhere. I got to know what it is. I have no idea
If they
who
stump
he's
you, they're
playing.
not saying something to me. So
I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who he is. But they did admit, Marvel did finally admit, and it's, I mean, everybody knows it, that the quantum universe is actually the microverse. They just can't use that name. I guess Sony or whoever still owns it, and they won't let them use it. But they finally
I
went
think
ahead and admitted
those will go back to the Micronaut stuff, right?
the micro. I would like to see them. I'd like to see them visit the micro.
Well, they can't do it. I think they're owned by a different company.
You know, that's right. That's right.
Like we talked about
So-
ROM earlier. Yeah.
I would love to see Rom. But so Bill Murray's going to be in it. And out of all of the people, I'm now focused on him because I don't know who he is. I don't know what he's, is going to be a big role, a small role. I mean, because most of these guys are probably just going to pass through. So Bill Murray has been my focus. I'm wondering what's going to go on with him and his obscure character. So that's been my thought. But as far as the Doctor Strange thing, I think that with so many characters connected to it, I think that he's going to be like traveling through the universes, and then people are going to pop up, and you'll see him maybe 10 seconds here. You'll see Luke, Nicolas Cage get on a motorcycle, rev it, and change to the Ghost Rider, and then you'll pass through that. I think it's going to be just like just blink and you miss it kind of things going on because they've got so many characters attached to this. I don't think they're going to pull an Avengers where all of these guys are going to line up and then knuckle up against the bad guy.
No,
I think they're just going to
They're
pop in
saying
and
that
out.
after the success of Spider-Man, this is what I've been reading, that after the success of Spider-Man, they've been pulling all these cameos, I guess, filming afterwards. After the movie's complete, then they're pulling in cameos, just like, maybe have Doctor Strange meet like this one here, that one there. So Benedict Cumberbatch has been going on filming all these extra cameos over. And I'll tell you which ones I think have credence and which ones might not. I mean, there are a lot of rumors definitely going around. I think we're definitely going to get one of the Spider-Men. From what I read, it's going to be Andrew Garfield. I think he's definitely going to be appearing in this. And there's a lot of smoke by that Tom Cruise Iron Man appearing as Iron Man. That supposedly he took off from his own movie for like around a week, and like the little hiatus, and he went to go filming. And he was in Atlanta. He went to go filming, do something. They didn't say filming, but he took off, and then he came back afterwards. They didn't say anything what it's about. So I think there's a lot of where there's smoke, there's fire. I think there's a lot of fire there.
So here's my beef with this whole thing, right? The thing that made Spider-Man, really, really good. I mean, it was a great movie overall, obviously, but the thing that, people, were drawn to and were going crazy in the movie theaters was, the reappearance of Garfield and Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, right? So, when those two guys appeared, my theater fell apart. People were like crying and going crazy and screaming.
People, you mean you?
So, of course, yeah. Well, I'm not I was excited. I was emotional, of course, but it wasn't, I'm not a Spider-Man guy like you are. So I wouldn't,
I was in tears.
If it was an Iron Man movie, whatever, and then they show like, if they have, freaking, what do you call it? Robert Downey Jr. show up, I'll be bawling like a little girl, right? And I don't have a problem with them doing a Tom Cruise Iron Man from another dimension, because we've already been introduced to Iron Man in this MCU, right? So the issue that I have is that I hope we haven't been introduced to the XMen and we haven't been introduced to the Fantastic Four. So my issue is I don't want them to introduce an X-Men or Fantastic Four from another dimension if they haven't introduced one in the MCU yet. You know what I mean? Because if, kind of like, okay, one of the rumors is that we're going to see the Illuminati, right? And the Illuminati is Professor X. Big rumors I've heard about Black Bolt, we're going to see the Black Bolt. He's in the Illuminati. Iron Man with Tony Stark, Submariner, and Mr. Fantastic, right? So I think those are like the main characters of the Illuminati, and they're basically, the smartest people in in the world, and they got together to pretty much to join a undercover group, to watch over the world, basically, at the universe. So one of the rumors that I heard was the Illuminati. But if you're going to introduce a Professor X, right? And we haven't had a Professor X in the MCU. So is this Professor X going to be the new? How they going to introduce the XMen to this new MCU, or is it? But if he's from another dimension, so it's just kind of like a little wishy-washy to me. It's like I don't want him to introduce the Fantastic Four or X-Men this way. I want them to be introduced into the MCU, and then once they're in, okay, if you want to have like other dimensions, whatever, an old school Patrick Stewart come in, oh, that's cute, that's great, whatever, but we already have a Professor X, you know what I mean? That's the only beef that I have with it. And because this is comics and pop, this year is the first appearance of the Illuminati, the New Avengers #7. This is actually like a really hot book right now, because so everybody's going crazy over this dollar bin book that I got a few years ago. But yeah, so that's pretty much my beef with it, man. I'm like a little I mean, I'm sure that they'll figure out a way to do it, and they'll do it great, and I'm gonna love it. But I just wish that they would introduce the characters in the MCU first before they bring another one from another dimension.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I think this is a lot for the fans. Like they did this, the SpiderMan was crucial to the story. So I get the difference here.
Right.
But I think it's just giving something to the fans, and also giving, just a little bit of respect to the cast of the other movies that have already done it. Even though they weren't tied into the MCU, they did play these roles, these beloved roles. Even though their movies might have been garbage, they still played these beloved roles. So,
but I mean, you could still bring them in down, in the future, down the road and stuff. I mean, to me, it's kind of like you're introducing a character that's not part of this world. You know what I mean? Well, so it's
going to be fun to just see Chris Evans walking through, and instead of bringing out the shield, all of a sudden he'll say "flame on," and like what what's going on?
Right. But there's no Fantastic Four in this MCU yet. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, as a geek, I guess, as a comic book geek, I'm like,
fans. This is for the audience. It's
not for... but I'm a fan, and I want to see but I want to see the Fantastic Four introduced, and not an old school Fantastic Four from a movie that most people didn't like. You know what I mean? So that's I guess that's my view on it.
Well, you're also getting you're getting someone who's played. Who's also playing what's his name? Why can't I think of his name now? Who played the other Fantastic Four, the reboot?
Oh, you're talking about
Michael B. Jordan?
Yes, right. And he was also in
right, he's the Human Torch too, so he can show up as the Human Torch too. Yeah. So, but right, and then imagine they show 2 Human Torches, and we don't even have a Human Torch in the MCU. So it's like, I don't know. It's just, I guess, me being get off my lawn, cranky old person.
I think if they bring the X-Men, then I think the X-Men would stay, because one of the reasons that he got rid of the other people, he didn't want them there. Their timeline said they were supposed to die. They had run-ins with Spider-Man. It was all messy. But Aunt May was like, no, you got to fix it. So she was one voice of reason, but she's dead. Spider-Man was another voice of reason. I'm sorry, Doctor Strange, we got to save him. But he's gone. Nobody remembers him. So it'll be 100% up to Strange. And if they haven't died in their universe, he may not send them back. The reason he wanted to send them back is because they were supposed to die. They would upset the universe. But if it's not going to upset the universe, something could stop him from sending them back, because it will be 100% up to him. And we saw in What If, put in the correct decisions, put in the correct situations, he's going to make the wrong decisions. So, and he's not even, the Sorcerer Supreme right now. So, and then you've got the brand new dreadlock Mordru is going to show up with his dreads, all Jamaica style and everything. And I think I don't think he's going to be the villain, though. I think he's going to do something to upset Strange. They're going to have a little bit of a beef. but I don't think he's the main villain.
I think Wanda's going to be the villain. I think Wanda's going to be the bad one here.
Possible.
Well, right. Well, I mean, technically Wanda's, she's a mutant, so even though they haven't really, they don't have her as a mutant in the MCU. I mean, she's obviously a mutant. She's the daughter of Magneto, right? So
that's another one I want to see in this.
But also to your theory, to what you're saying, Troy, if he brings over and lets them stay, right? I guess only the people that didn't die. So if he brings over X-Men and lets them stay that didn't die, so then we would never see a Jean Grey, because Jean Grey died in the other, because she was the Phoenix. She died.
Remember, we took people in SpiderMan before they died too.
Huh?
All those people died.
Right, but they all have to go back. But they all got to go back.
They died, they gotta go back.
Not now. Here.
But maybe that's why Wanda's the villain. Maybe she stops him from sending them back. Maybe she does, instead of, no more mutants, she goes, people like me or something. Mm-hmm. And she sucks all of those people into the universe. The Strange is like, no, we got to send them back. And she's like, hey, they already told me I'm stronger than you. So there, so it could be something. Maybe that's how she's the villain, because she brings these people through once, because Chavez is clearly going to take them on the merry-go-round around the universe and the multiverse. She's clearly their passport to go wherever they want to go. Their popcorn passport. She's their passport to take them wherever they want to go, and they go.
I get the plug in.
I tried to slip that in real quick. So she's going to take them all over the place, and then if Wanda sees, because she lost her brother, right? She lost her kids. The one girl she thought that was her friend was really an ancient witch that wanted to vampire all of the powers out of her. So she's got nobody. The Vision left. He's probably coming back, but the Vision left because he's going to merge with that other and become Super Vision or something. So he left, but he's probably coming back. So she's all alone. So when she sees that there's other dimensions with other people, quote unquote, like her, which would, like you said, which would be mutants, they might even own the word mutant now.
They do.
And they're saving for her to say it. Right. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, well,
yeah, because
then they're waiting to say it.
Yeah,
that's just like Captain America saying, Avengers Assemble.
Yeah,
everybody's waiting for somebody to say mutants, so she could be like, they're just like me, and then maybe Wolverine will be like, we're mutants. She's like, why don't just bring all the mutants here, so I can have them a family or something. She's going to be at odds with him, because if she's the villain, she's got to be at odds with Strange, and clearly Strange doesn't want anybody else extra in the universe. And she's like sobbing and crying over missing everybody, which honestly, I don't know why. You probably seen the meme. I don't know why she was mad at Thanos about killing all of her family. Because like that meme said, Tony Stark killed her mom and pop. Ultron killed her brother. Thanos killed the robot. But I mean, you put enough battery in him, and bring him back. But anyway, I'm starting to fall on a tangent, but she is going to be, I think, at odds with him, because he's going to want to send them back, and she's going to probably want to keep them.
I think, like I said, I think now they do own the term mutants. I think we're also going to get Wanda's kids back, of course. I think they're going to be appearing by the end of this movie. They're going to be part of the MCU as well. I'm trying to think who else they mentioned. I mean, like you guys both mentioned here too. I've read a lot of things about, besides the Fantastic Four. I did read also, and this part's rumor, and I don't know if I did read that they're going to have like a little Deadpool and Wolverine thing, but who knows,
Right, but like I said, who knows if it's going to be like essential to the story, or if it's just going to be like, I don't think it's going to
be essential to the story, because it's going to be there. A lot of these cameos were filmed after the principal production, so this is just shoving stuff in there.
Right. So it's probably just It's probably just a whole bunch of fan. People say, "Oh, look, cool, whatever," but it won't have anything to do with the story. Another two people that I heard was going to be that I heard rumors was that Emma Watson is going to play Clea, I think, the sorceress, whatever. She's going to be like a romantic history for Doctor Strange, and I also read that Cillian Murphy is going to be a Nightmare. So it's this movie. I mean, there's so many rumors. There's so much. They're gonna pack so much into this movie from the looks of it that I just hope that they don't mess it up.
Mess
That
up
they
the
try to
story
do too much.
itself.
Right,
Yeah.
that they try to do too much. It's because I mean, what made Spider-Man cool was that it had everything in it, but it was all part of the story,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
But if you're gonna start sprinkling in little things, just because Spider-Man was such a success, just to get people to have spoilers and blah blah blah,
Well, I
just
think
be
here's
careful.
the ones that I think that we may see as part of the story. I think we may see a Professor X and Magneto as part of the story.
Right. Well, that's where the whole Illuminati thing comes in, because if if you have an evil Doctor Strange that's trying to do stuff, then obviously there's going to be a cabal of heroes that are getting together to try and stop him, right, from other universes. So that's where the Illuminati will come in. So that's where you people like like Black Bolt and Doctor and Professor X come in and stuff. So
Can we also see Magneto as like coming in and saying, hey, I'm your real father? Like, like Luke, I am your father, like one of those moments.
Like Wanda, right?
Right.
Oh, Darth
Right,
Vader.
but I'm saying, but if he comes, I'm your father from what? From this universe? He's never been in this universe. You know what I'm saying? Which Magneto is it going to be?
Yeah.
Is he a Magneto from different universes that's hopping universes and just banging different ladies in different universes? You know what I mean?
Quicksilver.
Maybe it's Bill
They were-
Murray. Maybe Bill
They
Murray's
can't get Quicksilver.
hopping around and just banging different people. I mean, I don't know. That's where you got to be careful. That's where I think you got to be careful.
I would also like to see the other Quicksilver now again. As
Right.
He's not
Quicksilver.
Craven now.
Yeah, exactly. Though. So who do we think? I mean, let's start with who we think we're definitely going to see and who we want to see. Let's go to that. I mean, I think we're definitely by this point already. We're definitely going to see Spider-Man. I'm like they keep saying that Garfield is tied into another several movies already. That they're keeping him there. I think we're definitely going to see Spider-Man, and I'd be shocked, if we don't see Professor X. Who I want to see, like almost everyone else, I would like to see just at least a little tease of the Fantastic Four and a little tease of maybe some of the X-Men. What about you guys? Who do you think we're definitely going to see, and who do you think who you want to see? Troy, how about start with you?
I think they've got to expand the universe. They've got the Guardians of the Galaxy doing intergalactic stuff, and Doctor Strange, they build this as Marvel's first horror movie. So I think as far as that aspect, the villain has got to be somebody that's going to be terrifying. It could very well be Wanda, but I think there's going to be another aspect, like maybe Mephisto. You know what? Nightmare was cool. I never really liked him as a character, though. So I'm hoping for somebody more scary and devious, but with a name Nightmare, and in the hands of Marvel, he could be very scary. But I'm thinking it's going to be something like that. Maybe a Ghost Rider, or maybe even a Sons of Midnight type deal starting to work in. They've got Blade, so they could do a Sons of Midnight. I think they're going to, with all this extra stuff, they're going to sneak something in under the wire on us. So I'm thinking something like Sons of Midnight.
I think Ghost Rider would play in here. Ghost Rider would definitely play in here as being part of the story too, if they chose to go that way. Yeah. And it depends if they got a new one. I mean, I wouldn't even mind seeing Nicolas Cage coming back, doing it, for a little small. Carlos, what do you think? Well, did you say who you think you were definitely going to see, Troy?
Definitely going to see. I'd like to say we're definitely going to see Ghost Rider, because I just they're going to need some help in their little superhero magic team, and he's one of the bigger cards in the deck. So I'm thinking they're gonna see him in there somewhere.
Carlos, what about you? Who do you think we're definitely going to see? Who do you want to see?
I mean, we're definitely going to see the the extension of the Disney Plus characters. I think maybe Loki and Sylvie, and we're going to see obviously Wanda and Wong and Doctor Strange.
Those are kind of confirmed already. I mean, what about who do you think we're definitely going to see that's not confirmed?
That's not confirmed. You know what? There's so many freaking rumors that I'm thinking. if they're going to be, if we're obviously, we're definitely going with the fact that there's going to be an evil Doctor Strange. And if it's an evil Doctor Strange involved in different universes, there's obviously going to be the most powerful people in those universes trying to stop him. So it would be kind of hard not to think of, Professor X, right? Because he's, one of the most powerful beings, in the universe, obviously. So, and the X-Men. So to see him being introduced in there somehow, I think it's something that we would want to see, and that's probably going to happen. I'm just afraid of how they're going to do it. And as far as like all these other little cameos and stuff that they're planning, as long as it's not campy and just for hey, we saw this guy, oh hey, we saw that guy, and it actually plays to the story, I think it'll be cool, but just to like, okay, you peek in and, and you saw, what's his name? Evans, flame on, boom, you see him for 5 seconds. I already saw that movie. It's done.
You're
You know what I mean?
boy.
So, right, exactly.
So who do you want to see then?
See that.
So let's go. Who do you want to see?
I wouldn't mind. I definitely. I mean, I'm an Iron Man guy, so to see Tom Cruise, to see somebody else dressed in the Iron Man garb, that would be really cool. Just to see.
I think we're getting him. I do
because I remember. I don't know if it was true or, but I remember back in the day, if they ever made an Iron Man movie, everyone thought, well, it would be Tom Cruise, it would be Iron Man. And they even made memes about it and stuff. So, so it would be cool to see him as Iron Man, because I can kind of see him as Iron Man. Right,
yeah, he tested in the suit,
Playboy, right? So I can see him kind of like his Iron Man. So I would love to see him in it and actually have a meaningful role. Like he's meeting up with Professor X and and Black Bolt and the Illuminati, and they're together trying to figure out how to stop evil Doctor Doom. Doctor Strange from
Doctor Doom's another one that I would love seeing already in the MCU.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, but that's the thing. When you have something so big like that, how is Doctor Doom not going to know about it? How is he not going to be involved in it? You know what I mean? So it's that's where you have to
post-credit scene.
Right. There's so many things that when you have something this big and you're going to introduce all the universes, you got to pretty much kind of like almost introduce everybody. So it's kind of I'm just really skeptic and hoping that they do it right.
What do you let's wrap this up by saying, where do we see the end of this movie? Let's speculate. What do we think is going to be happening at the end of this movie?
I think the end of the movie is where we're going to see everybody. Like Carlos said, it's going to be for us, for guys like us, we're going to see it and be like, meh. But for the audience, they're going to be like, hey, look, I saw that guy. He was in something else.
So is Wanda good or bad by the end of this movie? Is Wanda a hero, or is she a villain on the run?
By the end of the movie, I think she's going to come to her senses, realize she's made a mistake, and that guy, she's going to be like, oh man, that guy, I thought he was an evil Doctor Strange. He's actually Mephisto. I think it's going to be Mephisto. I think he's going to be the evil Doctor Strange, and they're throwing us a curveball.
Could be.
Honestly, I think I'm surprised that Troy didn't say this, being that this is his guy. But I'm thinking Kang, right? Because that's next. That's the next evolution, right? The next the quantum verse and stuff, and Ant-Man. So you can't have all of this multiverses conversion without having some kind of without Kang being like, huh, what's going on here? So. I think maybe a post-season, post-credit scene will be, Kang will be involved with, maybe Loki or whatever, going back into, remember, we still have the second season of Loki coming out. We still have the Ant-Man in the Quantumverse, which Kang is going to be in. So maybe going that route, I would think.
Well, unless they threw us that curveball again. I mean, I don't, they said Kang's not going to be appearing until the Ant-Man one, but that could have changed. That definitely
but if it's an after credit scene, they're not gonna they don't reveal those, so it could be an after credit scene. So just start preparing for that, or maybe because of everything that's going on, maybe at the end, we might see an introduction of XMen or maybe not XMen, but maybe Fantastic Four into this universe.
I think the first one. That's how I think it's. I think it's by the end of this movie, we're going to be establishing the X-Men, maybe even as a post-credit, like, the school for gifted, so I think by the end of this movie that we're going to have the introduction of the X-Men. I mean, because Wanda's so tied into the X-Men through the years.
The only thing about that is that there's no announcements anywhere for any X-Men movie. I mean, for the next, like, they have everything planned out for like the next 4 or 5 years, and there's nothing in there about the X-Men. So that's the
post credit. I'm thinking post credit. Who knows? I don't know. I do think we're going to be establishing that they're out there, that mutants are out there.
Right. I mean, from what we understand that, especially Professor X is in it, obviously. But I'm saying they haven't.
Right.
I'm going based on the current timeline and the movies that are coming out, and we know that Ant-Man and Quantumverse, which is kind of like related to this, is coming out. So, and we know that Kang is in it, so I figure I'm gonna go that route. But I mean, for them to, I mean, it would be great if they did some kind of introduction to the X-Men, but they have no plans of anything for X-Men for the next 4 or 5 years.
Unless that's been kept under wraps for this.
Well, it could be, but I mean, Fantastic Four is supposed to come out like in 3 years,
right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like they're a four. They haven't cast anybody. They don't have any. We just know that it's coming down the road. So I don't know, man.
I don't buy that they didn't cast anyone either, by the way. I think that they already have who they want in mind.
I honestly think that a lot, I mean, the internet goes crazy, and because of the success of SpiderMan and the cameos, that I think maybe the internet's just going crazy and they're making up a lot of this stuff, and none of this is going to happen. That's probably that's my educated guess that we're not going to see.
I think I agree about that, the rumors go running rampant. The only thing is I could definitely see now, because of the success of Spider-Man, them wanting to get in some of these cameos too. And all these things, I mean, like it's kept saying, the smoke, this fire, that Garfield's confirmed, Marvel's confirmed that he's going to be in several more Marvel projects.
Yeah, we already saw Garfield, so it wouldn't be a big surprise. But I personally think that all the other ones that we're hearing, if I had to bet on it, I don't think they're gonna show. I think it's all.
We're gonna have to refer to this episode once we see that movie.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong. It'd be great. It'd be great to see him, but I think it's all more like internet. People going crazy because of Spider.
Well, all right.
And COVID.
Well, let us know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments. Let us know if who you think we're going to see, who you'd like to see, and remember, hold us to this later on if any of us are right or wrong. And
prove me wrong. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on.
Here we go. Yes.
Finish off this all right, huh? Would this guy lie to you? Oh my God, this thing is so tight on my freaking temples, dude. I got a big ass head, bro. Oh my God.
And on that note, this has been Comics and Pop.
Right.
I'm Jonathan Rosen, along with Troy Cannon and Carlos Idarraga. And please subscribe and hit that notifications button. Thank you, and bye-bye.